It's baseball, but so much more. Go bananas for Banana Ball with ESPN on Disney+. The greatest show in sports.
Are you kidding me?
Is the phenomenon everyone's talking about.
The trick play to the plate.
Catch the Savannah Bananas and other fan favorite teams all season long with select games streaming with ESPN on Disney+.
Let's go!
U.S. residents, 18 plus only. Select Banana Ball games available to all Disney Plus subscribers. Terms apply.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Movie math can be a little wonky. For example, take a film based on a novel, starring 4 actors, with a combined 3 Oscars and 6 nominations and a $100 million budget, and what do you get? One of the lowest rated films on Netflix. Well, let's put that math to the test and see if The Last Thing He Wanted is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades and B movies. Hello to all our listeners in Las Piedras, Puerto Rico, and around the world. How the heck are you guys doing? All right, we are deep diving the bargain bin of Netflix with this one. We're talking about a movie called The Last Thing He Wanted. And the last thing Alex wanted was to be on the show talking about this movie, but he's here anyways. Alex Leal's back. How you doing, man?
Oh, Jason, how are you? How are you bringing me back again to watch another Netflix movie? How are we doing this? It's always Netflix.
Well, I mean, there was that Grading on a Curve special where we watched some of the lowest rated films on Netflix. This was actually up for consideration for that episode of Grading on a Curve, but it gets its very own entry into the podcast. You have a massive cast and a very low rating. So when I handed you this movie, your thoughts?
Interesting, to say the least. And this is coming from a person that has not read the book. I have not read the book.
Oh, neither have I.
I didn't even know it was a book at all. But interesting, to say the least.
All right. So we're going to be talking about this film with multiple Academy Award winners, multiple Academy Award nominees, and 0 Academy Award nominations for this film. But before we do, it is time to take The Last Thing He Wanted and trailerize it.
It's 1984. Every phone is connected to the wall, and seemingly every character is connected as well. Anne Hathaway is Elena McMahon, a reporter who gets screwed over by her newspaper, screwed over in her life, and is about to get screwed up in cleaning up her father's mess. She is, in a word, done. Watch as Elena finds herself running away from literally everyone as she gets shot at, betrayed, misled, and worst of all, touched by Ben Affleck. Ew. Grab a notebook like Elena's because you're going to need to make sense of everything. Batman and Catwoman star in The Last Thing He Wanted. Rated R for Rosie to the rescue.
I'm so glad that you brought up like so many different plot points with her character. Oh my God.
Yeah, Anne's about to go through some things in this movie because, if you're feeling like a good time for a movie, pick anything else but this because every single character is going through it. But let's get into who is in this movie. The movie stars Anne Hathaway, Ben Affleck, Willem Dafoe, Rosie Perez, Toby Jones, Onata April, Edie Gathegi, and Mel Rodriguez. However, there's an almost starring for this one. Originally cast into the role that Ben Affleck plays was Nicolas Cage.
Oh, God, I think that would have been worse.
Yeah.
Never mind. No, don't do that.
But he was replaced by Ben Affleck. And I can't believe I'm saying this. That was the better choice.
Yes, it was.
The movie was directed by Dee Reese, who has not directed a movie since, but has done some TV work, including an episode of the TV show Upload on Prime Video. The movie is based on the book The Last Thing He Wanted by Joan Didion and had a budget of $100 million. But since it went straight to Netflix, there's no box office. This film debuted on Netflix on Valentine's Day 2020. Now, it did also show at Sundance previous to that, but yeah, it started streaming on Valentine's Day because there's nothing that says romantic sit-at-home movie to watch like The Last Thing He Wanted.
A convoluted mess. A convoluted mess.
Right. At the 2021 Razzies, Anne Hathaway was nominated for Worst Actress for this and The Witches, but lost to Kate Hudson for music. But the reason why we are here is because this is one of the lowest rated films on Netflix in its entirety. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a tomatometer of 5% and a popcorn meter of 14%. IMDb, though, says a 4.4 stars out of 10 for a 44% score. Metacritic, Metascore of 35. Letterboxd, 1.9 stars out of 5 for a 38% score. And at the movie database, 49%, giving this film an aggregate of 30.83%. And I feel like that 30% feels a little bit more closer to reality because as much as we're probably going to be talking about this film in a negative light, 5% is ridiculously harsh.
Yes, especially with the cast that they have and like some of the performances in this movie, 5% is so low. But 30, I would say, is aligned.
Yeah, 30 feels a bit more natural. Even 14% feels really low.
Yes, some critics, man, some critics.
Yeah, I don't understand. There are times, and I mean, I remember going back a number of years now when we covered a movie called The Poison Rose. It had John Travolta in it and Morgan Freeman, and had a 0% rating. Now, there were some problems with the film, yeah, sure, but it's not a 0%. This film at 5%, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked, I say.
There's problems with this movie, but it's not 5%.
No, God, no. God, no. Well, let's get into the breakdown of the movie. And we start with Anne Hathaway, who plays Elena McMahon. Your thoughts on her?
This is the toughest I've had to see Anne Hathaway perform. I'm going to be so honest. There are moments in this movie where she's really good in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are moments where she's acting kind of over the top, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know. I think it was just for me. I didn't mind her character in this, and I liked the depth that they brought with her daughter, and also with her dad, especially with her dad dealing with dementia at the time. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if just like her being on a complete goose chase and then like trying to understand everything, but that's also just part of the writing as well. The writing was just like,
but it's also,
so all over the place.
It's based on a book. You can't really just take the book and change the book. Now, admittedly, I have not read the book. In my research, apparently the book is told from like an anonymous narrator's point of view, like someone's recollection of, whereas this is very much told from Elena's point of view.
Yeah.
You know, it has a few things against it that's going to stick it into a bit of a pigeonhole. But let me kind of talk this through. And I have to point out that this, from a tomatometer and a popcorn rating perspective, this is the lowest rated film of Anne Hathaway's career. This.
Wow, really?
This.
Are you serious? What was another low one from her?
Bride Wars was actually pretty low.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, never mind. That makes sense.
But no, like this is the lowest rated film of her career. But the thing is, she's not bad in this. The character goes through a ton of ish. And I'm trying not to say too much because I want viewers to give this movie a try. I think don't be put off by the low 5% score rating. Yes. Is it paced slow? Yes, it is. Yes. Does anything good happen to anybody in this film? No. No, it does not.
Nothing.
But I don't think I'm being too hyperbolic when I say that Anne Hathaway is arguably one of the best actors of this generation.
No, you're not. I love her. She's such a great actress.
She is absolutely capable in any genre of film that is thrown her way, whether it be a comedy, whether it be a drama, whether it be a musical. Like I'm sure you could put her in the Star Wars galaxy and she would absolutely freaking slay no matter what she did. You know, I'm still waiting for Anne Hathaway to get into the MCU. You know, she was fantastic. She's actually one of the best Catwoman that's ever been in a film.
That's true. We've talked about this before. I agree with that.
Yeah.
She is one of the better ones.
Anne Hathaway is ridiculously multi-talented and can handle any single role thrown her way.
Yes.
Period.
I agree. Yeah. I don't know about this film. I don't know what does it for me with this one. This one's weird.
But given the script that she's got and given the progression of this film, and it does have pacing issues, but she's not the director. It has pacing issues. Part of the thing here is that Anne Hathaway gives a performance way above what this movie is giving her.
True. Way above her pay grade as well in this movie. Jesus.
Yeah, she's punching so above the weight class of the script in this, right?
Yeah.
You want someone in order to be able to really balance a character that is struggling with her hatred of her father for walking out on her and her mother, her exasperatedness of this task that he's asking her to do, this illegal task that he's asking her to do, because it is the last thing he wanted. This was supposed to be the score. This was supposed to be he was going to get his life together kind of thing. And dealing with the fact that her father is dealing with early form dementia.
Yes.
And I like the fact that this movie kind of almost feeds you a bit of a red herring in that you question whether this deal that she's got to go finish off for her father is actually happening because of the dementia. Is it a figment of his imagination? Is it something that he did in his past that's already done? But then of course things go way out of control. But the fact that we have a world weary, career weary woman on the edge, just barely holding on to her own sanity and thrown into a situation where she is sent back to South America to deal with gun runners, drug runners, and crime lords and try to make it home to her father.
Yeah.
There's so much here that a character's got to deal with. And Anne Hathaway has the ability to definitely bring that character up a little bit, right? Make you feel for the dilemma that Elena is in.
Yes. And I also respect that, yes, she doesn't respect her father, but she sees above it, and because of the dementia and everything, she realizes that, she needs to protect him and she needs to try and save him.
Yeah.
And then when she learns that her father passed away, it kicks into overdrive that, okay, I need to get this for the sake of my father.
Yeah. But there's also that parallel that her life is not good at all. Her marriage is basically dissolved. Her kid is at a boarding school. She's as absent to her. I mean, maybe not as absent to her own daughter as her father is to her.
Yes.
And this also deals with, there's a moment in this movie where they get the father back from the hospital, and, he's talking lucidly at one point, and then he starts remembering his lost wife, obviously Elena's, deceased mother. And that's hard because, people who have family members dealing with dementia, they don't always remember the family members that have passed away. So they sometimes have to dementia patients have to sometimes relive and compartmentalize the passing of loved ones over and over and over again. That's just a reality of dealing with dementia. And those who are looking after people with dementia, they have to deal with that as well. They have to then break the news over and over again to people suffering from dementia. It is a hard thing to go through. It is hard. And just to see like the weariness in Elena, portrayed by Anne Hathaway, it presents a reality to this. It makes it tangible. Like, this film has problems. Anne Hathaway is not the problem.
No, she's not. I'm gonna touch a little bit more after when we talk about William Dafoe and with dementia, because my grandmother sadly went through dementia and everything that went through it before she sadly passed away. So with everything that he was portraying, I could see like my grandmother through that perspective. And it was beautiful to see from like a whole different perspective.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Willem Dafoe now, playing Richard McMahon. And I want to preface this by saying that if you are, dealing with or caring for someone with dementia, and sometimes you just need someone to talk to, please take the time to go see someone or talk to someone, because it's hard to compartmentalize your own feelings and your own weariness. And you don't necessarily have to do it alone. So if you do need to seek help, please do find a way to seek help and help yourself. Fill your cup first so you can fill other people's cup. But let's talk about Willem Dafoe.
Thank you, Jason, for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, I liked Willem Dafoe in this because he still portrayed it in a way that is his. He portrayed it in a way that his character and how he acts is perfect. He has the same sort of, not menace, but sort of like a sort of callous where he wants to bring in some sort of levity, but also levity that, he has dementia and he doesn't remember these sort of things. So that sort of levity. And I really liked him in this movie where it's like, you didn't know what he was trying to say. And like, he also didn't know what he was saying. And like the first moment that he comes in and you get to talk to him. Yes, he's funny. Like he's very funny, but in a way that's not hard hitting, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's a weird swagger to Richard McMahon in this, right? Like he's dealing in stuff that he shouldn't be dealing in, right? But he's going for the score, right? He's living big. He's trying to make that he's trying to grab that golden nugget, right? That perfect score kind of thing. And this is the one. He was supposed to set it up. But then, of course, the Alzheimer's starts to kick in and the dementia's there. And he has that, trip to the hospital. But the thing is, Richard really is so self-centered and so all about himself that he can't even process that his own daughter, who he abandoned, might possibly not want to actually see him. It doesn't register to him. Everything bad that he has done, he doesn't see as bad. Yeah. Richard McMahon is such a broken character. It's such a unempathetic character.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also see how that hardens Elena. Like, this whole movie opens with Elena, and Rosie Perez's character trying to get the hell out of South America before they're killed.
Yeah.
And at first, when this movie opens up, I'm like, are we starting in a flash forward and then we're going to get to this point? But then we realize that this is just another assignment that they were on and trying to get this story that is Elena's great Moby Dick story that she's going to chase until the end. I'm not spoiling. But Richard McMahon is such a self-centered character that you could almost understand Elena a bit more, even though Elena carries some of that trait, but also carries the anger because you can probably see part of why she is the way she is within her own father.
Exactly. Yeah. It gives her more depth, and it gives the character also of Richard a lot more depth as well, because you can see the good from the bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like you can feel sympathy for Richard in dealing with his Alzheimer's, but you can also feel revulsion towards Richard for just being a self-centered, gun-running asshole.
Exactly. Yes, I completely agree. Yeah, because you notice that he does not, like, he's doing these sort of things out of just like pure spite and everything like that.
I don't think it's spite. I think it's just, he's
I think
he's a guy looking for a score.
Exactly. Yes. That. Yeah.
People are full of surprises, especially when you travel together. Thankfully, Vrbo is not. When you book a Vrbo, you get Vrbo Care and 24/7 live support, so your house doesn't surprise you like your friends might. If something's not as described or doesn't work, Vrbo's there. Real people, real support, anytime. Book today on the Vrbo app. If you know, you Vrbo. Terms apply. See vrbo.com/trust for details.
Gold Bond knows that every glow up starts with radiant skin. So choose Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow for a body lotion that's clinically shown to give you smooth, glowing skin. But don't just take our word for it. 88% of people who tried Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow saw glowing skin in just 1 day. Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow. Nourish your skin. Reveal your glow. Buy now on Amazon.
Wasn't that delicious?
So good.
Your bill, ladies?
I got it. No,
I got it.
Seriously, I insist. I insisted first.
Oh, don't be silly.
You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Ben Affleck as Treat Morrison. So this is some kind of government agent who's basically running like the shadow ops. And now keep in mind that this movie takes place in and around the Iran-Contra deals. But your thoughts on Ben Affleck in this? And thank God it wasn't Nicolas Cage.
I think if it was Nicolas Cage, it would have been kind of comical.
I think if it was Nicolas Cage, it'd be a 0%. But go on.
Probably.
No guns! No guns!
You had to bring Gunslingers up, didn't you?
I did have to bring Gunslingers up because there were choices made in that movie. But no, Ben Affleck.
This is the one where it confuses me, where he could have been so much better, but the story kind of puts him on the afterburner until the end of the movie where he has more of a stake into it, if that makes sense. I think they could have delved into his character a little more before. Should I spoil, or are we doing this? Can I?
Well, let me sum up my thoughts on his performance in this first, before we get to the character arc of Treat Morrison. We are getting a performance from a guy who was in the movie Paycheck. This film felt like a paycheck to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, this movie is tied in Ben Affleck's filmography for the second worst of his career for the popcorn score. The worst is Gigli.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. That makes sense.
But yet I think I would rather watch Gigli than this. At least his performance than this. But because the problem is that Treat Morrison is this, political, not hitman, but he's a fixer. He's a fixer for this. I can only assume it's a senator because they don't really go too much into it.
No.
But yet, at the end of the day, he's actually the one kind of pulling these strings kind of thing. But I mean, you sit there and you get to that reveal and it's like, okay, sure. I don't care.
It doesn't make, because there were so many other people that they were building up to in this movie that would have made a lot more sense. This one just comes out of left field.
You know that meme of Ben Affleck just standing outside with a cigarette in his hand and just like looking up and just like, ah.
Yep, I do.
That is the embodiment of his role in this film.
Yeah, I agree. He's one of the. There's the. Is there an LVP? Is there an LVP?
It's quite possibly, yes. But the thing is, it's like I don't know if they purposely downplayed the character so then they could have this big reveal, because then at that point it's like, oh, like, also because they're downplaying it, I'm sitting there at some points going, cool. So I understand he's there for this, America's birthday celebration, in Costa Rica or whatever. And then he keeps staying there. He's staying there for a really weird long time, and we don't question it.
Yeah. It just doesn't, like, I'm sorry. I think they should have built his character and his motivations and everything a lot more than what we got, because we barely got anything from him. There were other people in the movie where it would have made sense.
Yes.
That, they killed her. Yes. Makes sense.
Yes. But no, it's just like they downplayed him to try to make it like this big reveal. And in the end, it's like, oh, it's that guy we don't care about who, got to go to bed with Anne Hathaway for some reason. I don't know. I don't get it. Rosie Perez as Alma Guerrero. So this is the photographer that Anne Hathaway works with. She also works at the same paper that Anne Hathaway's character does. Your thoughts on Rosie Perez in this?
I think she brings a sort of levity that Willem Dafoe also kind of brings, but also at the same time, no. Rosie Perez is the sort of person that Elena can kind of put her head down to, like, try and have someone to have a shoulder with. She's that type of person that she'll always try to help her, especially when she's getting into these very messed up situations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she does. And I actually thought she was really good in that role of knowing to kind of be the shoulder to cry on and the person to kind of rely on.
Yeah. I like her in this role. It's not a big role per se, but it's a necessary role for Elena. With Alma Guerrero, so this is they work in South America together in order to be able to chase down this story that Elena is trying to put together. And then that story gets, for lack of a better term, cock-blocked by the American government because their paper is basically told to shut down that entire division and that entire bureau. So after, escaping South America and getting back to the States, and they get basically put on, presidential campaign detail to sideline them. Now you have this character with all this information about things and people and happenings in Costa Rica, and becomes almost like a lifeline for Elena. I like Rosie Perez's character in this. I think it's subtle enough, but strong enough that this, amongst everyone else, and I'm even saying this as opposed to the girl who plays Anne Hathaway's daughter in this, I think Rosie Perez's character is the one person that humanizes Elena more than anybody else. And I'll give a shout out to Onata April, who played Anne Hathaway's daughter in this. She did a really good job, but I think Rosie Perez's character is the one that humanizes Elena much more than anybody else.
Yes. I think with Kat, with her character, I think they should have at least brought her in a little more to bring up the stakes, which there were always stakes with her. But I think Rosie Perez always brought something, like she was always there to kind of comfort Elena and also know that, her daughter is safe because Rosie Perez is helping her.
Yeah. But also to the same token, like the fact that Anne Hathaway is like, okay, I have to, call in the divorced father to come pick her up from the boarding school. Like, this is almost Elena admitting defeat, which I think is something that Elena didn't ever want to do, right? Elena is a strong character. So the idea of admitting that kind of weakness and that kind of defeat, it's almost like maybe she should have learned the lessons from her father in the opposite direction and sort of somewhat becoming her father.
Yes. Yeah. I think she was just justified. Like, Rosie Perez was justified in this role, and she was justified as a character with how she brought a different sort of perspective to Elena and to her character.
Toby Jones, who plays Paul Schuster. So this is the guy who is on this quaint little plot of land put there by Treat or by Bill or whatever the guy's name is to basically live out his days quietly. Your thoughts on Toby Jones in this?
So confusing. I don't even know. Like, I like him as an actor too. That's the thing. I really like him. But this one, like, he acts like a complete tool, if that makes sense. He acts like a dick. But then once he dies, it makes sense. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense when he dies.
No.
But I mean, he is that character that ran these bathhouses. He knows too many secrets about people, so he's set up in this nice little house and basically given a life to just don't go anywhere and don't talk to anybody and you'll be fine. Right. Because he knows things and it's cleaner than killing him. Right. Because then there's that mess to clean up. Paul Schuster is the kind of character that is basically there to show the depths to which Elena has sunk. Right? He's not a character, he's a measuring stick for Elena.
So you're thinking he's like a plot device?
I don't think it's a plot device. I think it's basically think about when you're at the mall and you're trying to get to someplace, you head to the map and you go, you are here. And you realize that you're in the way wrong place for the store that you want to shop in. That's what Paul Schuster is. He's the sign that says you are here, which is this point in Elena's character journey is the bottom of the freaking barrel.
Which is actually ironic coming from this movie.
Right? But the thing is that as a measuring stick, Paul Schuster works. Is played by Toby Jones. As anything other than a measuring stick, the character is superfluous in the movie.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. I can see where you're coming from there. And he's kind of just like, if you're going at it this way, like he's kind of like a footnote in Elena's journey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Mel Rodriguez playing Barry Sedlow. So this is the guy that is the father's friend and sending Elena to do the deal. Your thoughts on him?
Just way too convoluted. Like with his character, it was just way too convoluted. Like he was sending her to like really weird places and really weird tasks. And like, yes, Elena was going to do it no matter what, but it was just way too like confusing and convoluted, in my opinion.
I think the idea of Barry Sedlow is much like Paul Schuster's a measuring stick as to how far Elena has gone down. Barry Sedlow is a measuring stick, or at least a counterbalance to, or even better, proof positive as to the depths of the people that Richard was dealing with to pull off this last sort of deal. Barry Sedlow is the kind of guy that tells you exactly the kind of character that Richard is. I don't give a damn about you. You're going to do this. I don't care who you are. Right? I don't care that you're the daughter of the guy who set up this deal. Boom, go. And if you live, great. If you die, fine. I don't care. That's Barry Sedlow. And I think Mel Rodriguez played him with enough asshole in order to be able to get that point across.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there on the ass. How am I going to say this? Assholery.
I like it. I'll accept it.
Yep.
We're not playing Scrabble. You can use it.
Hey, you know what? We've already made up a lot of different words. So assholery, that's already a word.
Triple word score on assholery. How many points is that?
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. But no, he showed that sort of assholery in this role, but in a way that shows that Elena has gone way too far and way too down deep that she can't just get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he basically plays like a pulp novel gangster, and that's kind of what you want out of the character.
Yes.
One more guy to talk about, Edie Gathegi. This is the guy who plays Jones. This is the guy who is Elena's contact in Costa Rica in order to be able to do the gun swap, and then she, of course, leaves him behind in the jungle when she's trying to escape. Your thoughts on him?
So when you first proposed this movie, you told me about some of the actors in this movie that are in it. Mm. And then I saw his name, and I really, really liked him as Mr. Terrific in the Superman movie. I thought he was great, and I really hope that he gets a movie for Mr. Terrific. But in this movie, I don't know how to feel about him, because there was a moment before we got into the whole Ben Affleck stuff that it would have made sense that he was the person pulling the strings. It would have made sense. But no, it wasn't that at all. It's just so convoluted and so confusing. But I did at points like his character, because he tried to balance Elena out and tried to not look at the right from wrong, but see that she was already down like deep. Like she was already down there. He can't pull her out of there.
One thing I like about the inclusion of this character is that he almost acts as a red herring, right? Because he plays him in a way that you don't quite know whose side he's on, right? Is he going to screw Elena over? Is he actually helping Elena? Is he trustworthy or not? Jones is one of those characters where you sit there and go, I'm not quite sure about you. And I don't know if I should like you or not. To be able to pull that off in a film that does have a, for lack of a better term, a middling script. I like the fact that I was left wondering and questioning the motives and the means for a character like this. That is fantastic work from Edie Gathegi in this.
Yes, because, and I said it. I said he's a perfect Mr. Terrific, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they casted him for that movie. And I was just still surprised that he was in this movie, but he has a sort of good role in this to help balance out Elena. Well, not balance out, but show she's already down deep type of person. So let's just try and go on with this and try to help her.
But the fact that she misreads his intentions just goes to show the lack of good judgment on Elena, because Jones ends up being the character that she probably needed all along.
Yes, that's true. I see that.
All right. I'm going to ask you a big question here. Really big question, because, we sat there and said, okay, maybe it's not a 5% movie. I'm not going to ask you to put a number to it. But why do you think people gave this a 5% film?
Honestly, Jason, I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know why people gave this a 5%, especially with the cast that they had. The movie is messy. The movie is very messy and very convoluted, but it's not 5% convoluted.
No, I mean, yes, it drags a little bit. I'll give it that. And yes, it's a little on the melodramatic side when you get to the end of it. But I think this is one of those movies where there are two reasons why I can see it get a low score like this. The first one, and we've talked about both of these before. The first one is the fact that it is straight to Netflix. Yes, it appeared at Sundance, I get it, but straight to Netflix has a connotation to it. Not from TV series per se, but for movies. Movies that are straight to streaming have a negative connotation about them. The other one is the weight of expectation. As we mentioned in the trailer, you got 3 Oscar wins and 6 other nominations amongst the main 4 people in this cast. If I said to you, hey, we're going to watch a movie, it's got Anne Hathaway and Ben Affleck and Willem Dafoe and Rosie Perez, and you're like, oh, cool, this is going to be great. And it's middling. Not bad. It's meh.
Yeah. And we expected so much more from those actors and from the movies that they were in. We expected so much more from them.
Yeah. I don't think this film is anywhere near as bad as the critics make it out to be. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but I'm saying that this should not be considered to be the worst in Anne Hathaway's career.
No, absolutely not. Looking at it, no. And Jason, how many Netflix movies have we already done? This is our, third or fourth?
There's a lot of them. Oh, we could spend days on that streaming service and not run out of things to talk about.
Oh, no. I mean, episodes that me and you have done for Netflix.
I know.
We've done like 3, right?
At
3
least,
or 4?
At least. I mean, we did an entire grading on a curve about Netflix movies. So, again, I think take that negative connotation out of your head when it comes to movies that are straight to streaming. Because there are jewels in the rough. Yeah, there are some stinkers out there. And there are some films that don't necessarily live up to the expectations you may have for a film with a cast like this. Give this movie a try. I want to know, dear listeners, what you guys think of this film. The Last Thing He Wanted on Netflix. Go give it a try. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. Watch the movie and let us know what you think of it on social media at Not That Badcast. But let's get to the big pick here. So, Alex, who was your MVP of The Last Thing He Wanted?
I think you may know who this is going to be, but I'm
going to say you're going to go with Edie Gathegi.
No, I wish. No, I can't. I gotta go Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
Willem Dafoe he was really good in this and knew how to, yes, he was down deep, but he played the role. He played the role in a way that he was meant to play, and in a way that just showed a different light into a world of people that have dementia and people that are kind of dealing with this sort of weight to their mental health.
Yeah, but not in a make a big thing of it kind of way.
No.
His portrayal of it was very subtle in a way that Willem Dafoe can definitely, even though he's put in a little panache to the character, the panache works well enough that, when we get to the point where he is having those dementia relivings kind of thing, it's well done, but he's not my MVP.
I think I know who it is.
It's Anne Hathaway.
I knew it.
Of course it's Anne Hathaway. Again, I stress that she is one of the best actresses in the game today and has earned every single award that she has ever gotten. And I think is really doing a good job in a film that's not helping her out a lot. This is not the worst film of her career. It is not.
Absolutely not.
Even films that are lowly rated in her filmography, I think you're still going to get an absolute great performance out of Anne Hathaway. She was as good as can be in this film, but give it a try, dear listeners, and let us know what you think. All right, Alex, thank you so much for this. Now, please remind our listeners what you've been up to and where they can find your work out there on the interwebs.
Well, you can find my work at the Footy Frenzy podcast on Spotify and any other audio listening websites that you guys choose. You can also find me on YouTube in the Footy Frenzy podcast YouTube channel, which I will be making more videos on there, as well as the Screen Circuit podcast with movies, which I'm going to get Jason into as well. You're going to watch good movies. I don't care what you say. You can watch bad movies on here. No. Please not the room. Please not the room. We're not doing that.
Oh, hi, Mark. Okay. Dude, thank you so much. And to you, our dear listeners, you know the drill. If there's a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned or is the last thing you want to watch in the world, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, hey, do you want to support the show? We got a merch section. So if you want to, get a shirt, get a mug, whatever you want to do, all the money goes towards making this show better. Until next time, he's Alex, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
Every act of change begins with a neighbor. When neighbors connect through the Feeding America network, small actions ripple into lasting impact. Feeding America, led by neighbors. Give now to end hunger at feedingamerica.org.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistant's assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.